Hey, Sandsters, Anthony Rose. This is part 2 of West Coast Swing Secrets. We're covering the rolling passes today. Now, notice I didn't say the rolling pass. It is the rolling passes. So we're going to teach you the basic of the rolling pass and then show you a bunch of different ways to use it. Now, if you're brand new here at the channel, welcome. We post all of the country dances, including West Coast Swing, two-step, waltz, polka. I think there's some line dance on here, but you can notice this little button down here and it says subscribe. Now, if you click that button, then you become an X dancer and you know when all the awesome stuff happens here on the channel. So we're going to demonstrate the rolling pass and then we'll break it down. All right, guys, we're going to demonstrate the rolling pass, but let me say this first. If you have not watched the first video in this series, that's right here. You need to watch that first. This is meant to go chronologically, like what you should learn first. So if you haven't done that one, this one's not going to make as much sense, okay? So we're going to demonstrate the basic rolling pass, and we'll show you a couple different ways. So it's like one pattern you learn, and then a bunch of different ways to use it. So you have with a rolling pass, she goes to the other side, and she turns. I'll show you that again. She goes from here to here. Now, again, if she did that same thing again, there's a lot of different ways that we can do that. It's still the same idea. We do that until basically she gets dizzy. All right, so we're just doing the same stuff over and over. I'm just leading her in different ways as we do it. All right, guys, so a lot of this stuff we're going to cover is going to seem familiar if you watched the first part of this series on the side passes, great? So we're going to rehash some of that stuff and talk about the concepts and then show you how it applies to this pattern. So what we talked about in the first video was that at a 6-count pattern of West Coast Swing, you have 3 sections of 2 beats of music with 3 separate to-dos, intentions as we call them. So the first 2 beats of every pattern, what she does is she starts moving from there to there and she starts moving towards me for the first 2 beats. Now in the middle 2 beats, the middle section, we have something happens. That's the variation, that's the stuff. And then on the third 2 beats, we have anchor in place. So in the side pass was what we covered last time. She comes towards me, something happens, and then we anchor right there in that spot, okay? Now what's gonna be different from one pattern or one category to the next is gonna not be that whole thing, it's gonna be the 2 beats in the center of that pattern. Because she's always gonna come towards me, but then something happens, and then we have the anchor in place.
Like a sandwich, you have your 2 pieces of bread, and then you have something different in the middle. So just pick your poison. Right. Jelly, meatball, some.
But not jelly and meatballs.
Whatever you want,
okay.
Whatever. So
what you have is in this rolling pass, we have that same structure, come towards me, something happens, anchor in place. But she comes towards me, and then I do the rolling pass. This is the stuff to do, right? She turns 1.5 turns, she finishes that, and then she has the anchor in place. So this is called a rolling pass. Again, this is a category. There's many, many, many different patterns that have this concept. But here's the basic concept is I bring her towards me and I start to get out of the way. Then I lead her for a turn in that middle 2 counts. And then we have the anchor in place. Let me show you that close up. Guys, we are so excited. We are officially on tour. We've got lots of locations across the country where we can actually meet you guys face to face and do these classes in person. So click that link right there to see where we're gonna be at. Hopefully we're gonna be somewhere near you and we can't wait to see you guys on the dance floor. All right, so if we focus on the followers footwork, here's what she does. She comes towards me for walk, walk for 1, 2. Then she has 1.5 turns for 3, and finish on 4, and then we have the anchor in place. We're not really picky on whether you want to do pivots or chaînés or what type of turn we do pivots. It's really personal preference, but again, that footwork is walk, walk with no turn. Then she has a 1.5 rotations for 3 and 4, still continuing to travel, and then we have the anchor in place. Now, if you watch the leader's footwork here, his footwork for this rolling pass is exactly the same as the basic left side pass that we did before. He steps back for 1, he steps out of the way for 2, he stays out of the way for 3, and stepping back into the center for 4, anchor in place one more time. That is 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. So again, guys, the rolling pass is a category, and this is the basic rolling pass. So she comes towards me, I get out of the way, she turns 1.5 times, and then we anchor. Now, those circles that we talked about in the last video are still the same. She has a circle here, she has a circle there, and a line that connects them. She goes from that spot to that spot, and I have my own 3 circles, okay? So I have one in the center, I have one on the side, one over here. So what's happening here, if you think about the movement, like of where we're going, I'm in the center circle, she's on that one, I stay in the center circle, and I get the heck out of her way because this line goes straight through the center. I gotta get out of her way, right? I get completely out of the way. If she turns, I step back into into the center, and then we anchor in place. Now, from there, there's 1,000 different ways you can do that. All right, so that's the basic rolling pass. For example, if we were to have two hands here, we could do this as a free spin. My footwork's still the same. Her footwork's still the same pattern. I'm just touching her hands differently. So what I would do is step out of the way for one, get out of her way for two. Now I've got my right hand connected to her left. She still does the same thing, but I'm gonna free spin her through, catching her at the end, anchor in place. So if we watch that again, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. Exactly the same thing. Now, if I have my right hand to her right hand, nice to meet you, we can do that as an overhead rolling pass. Same footwork again for both of us. 1, 2, 3, and over the head for 4, 5, and 6. Still exactly the same thing. There's a lot of different variations, and one thing we demonstrated earlier is right hand to right hand, left hand to left hand over top. Still the same footwork for the most part, a little bit different at the end for him. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then I would come underneath. Or we can combine those two things that we just did and end up into that position.
However you please.
What we want you guys to think about is the core of the thing. It is the rolling pass, okay?
Foundation.
It is, in that middle 2 counts, I lead her for a turn, right? She follows the turn. And then there's millions of different ways to actually create that with different hand holds and different positions. Maybe a turn, maybe a don't, maybe a turn with her. So like, there's so many different ways. Like we could do a barrel roll where we both turn under that arm and anchor in place. But at the core of that, exactly the same pattern. Now we're gonna demonstrate this to music a few times, and now the next video we're gonna be covering the sugar push as a category. The sugar push is a pattern, but it's also a category of things. So we'll demonstrate it, and then we'll see you guys in the next video. All right, guys, the next video in this series is the sugar pushes, and not just one, but multiples. That video is right here. So to continue on with the series, that's right there. Or you can check us out on our virtual platform of xdance.com. That's right here. Either way, we'll see you guys next time.